What Africa needs is not another new relationship. It's not another new savior. It's not Russia. It's not anybody else. What Africa needs is a journey to one Africa. Brics is the destruction of Africa's unity.
It is.
With all the goodness agenda or everything that I have.
What are you expecting to say bad? You have to say good.
Yeah, it has to be good. Yeah. For me, it is the destruction to Africa's unity. And I say this, I say what Africa needs is not another new relationship. It's not another new savior. It's not Russia. It's not anybody else. What Africa needs is, and I thank you for coming here today because you just added another meat to this bone. That what the first thing Africa needs is to know who we are. Because I love this. So the word ignorance in Hebrew, it's darkness.
Yes.
And the word knowledge in Hebrew is light. So because of this ignorance, because of this darkness of not knowing the light, knowledge of knowing who we are, my people are perished. Because of lack of knowledge, my people are perished. We are perishing. Africa, we are perishing. We are struggling. We are fighting against each other. We're discriminating against each other. We're killing each other in Congo, these days in Niger and other parts of Africa because we do not know who we are. If we have that knowledge of understanding who we are, we'll realize that we are one people, we are one man, and we realize that we are more powerful than what we have been experiencing. The reason why we have been handed, we've been controlled, we've been slaved, we've been colonized, it's because we are very powerful and they know it. They know it and they don't want it to happen. They don't want us to know each other. They don't want us to unite. They don't want that to happen. So basically, unity is gonna be very simple if we know who we are.
It's the foundation,
and I want
to build on
exactly. And I wanna add to that. For you, you can give us your perspective in all these organizations. I just mentioned Brics here, and the summit is coming. I want you to build up into that point. You know, I've said that it's a distraction to Africa's unity because now a lot of countries, they're sending their requests to join, of course, Brics. But we are not focusing on ourselves. We're not focusing on Africa's unity. Today, just a crude example, what is happening in Niger, you see ECOWAS, what is doing in Niger, giving them sanction in their own country, their own people. And at the same time, you have African countries who are requested to join Brics. And in the Brics, of course, there's a BRIC currency, but we're not focusing on our own currency, African currency. We're not focusing on bringing ourselves together, but rather sanctioning each other and finding another relationship from other people outside, like Russia and Brics, so that we are even, in fact, we are getting even farther from one another. We put our trust right now, a lot of Africans, we put our trust in Russia, we put our trust in China, without knowing that it's the same thing.
And that's thank you.
And we're not putting our focus on ourselves.
It's the same thing. You see, me, I have a little bit of soft spot for Russia, but that doesn't mean that I have to follow Russia.
Yeah.
I don't look to Russia for my help. My help doesn't come from Russia. When I say my help,
absolutely,
it's a solution to our problem. Doesn't come from any other ethnic group or nation,
but above.
Comes from above. And so it's a distraction.
It is.
Not only is it a distraction, but if you don't know who you are and you don't know who is behind all these international bodies and organizations, then you don't know what is actually happening in the world. If you don't know what is actually happening in the world and you don't know who is, therefore you don't know who is behind it, how can you understand why these things are happening? Why they're doing these things? These initiatives. And if you don't know that what is happening, all of what is happening is actually preventing the unification of our people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then how can you stop what is coming? Something is coming. And so that's why it is so important to understand that identity is a foundation.
Yeah.
You cannot build a house without a firm foundation. Okay? So we are not an international community. I keep hearing them saying the international family, international community. What are y'all talking about? There's no so-called international community when you have people who are saying that because of their interest in somebody else's country, how can you have an interest, a national interest in somebody else's country, and use that as justification to say you're going to keep your troops there? All right? That's somebody who knows their identity, but they're dealing with people who don't know. But the truth of the matter is that the people in Niger, people in Burkina Faso, the people in Mali, the people in Guinea, now even Senegal now, the people are kicking up, even Nigerians, they don't want you to know this, they're pushing the Nigerians through ECOWAS to go and do divide and conquer, go and fight, use them to kill each other, to shed each other's blood, one brother against the next, for France, for Europe, for America, right? So that they can have access to the resources. So BRICS is Belt and Road. That's what BRICS is. It has nothing to do with what they think it has to do. Let me say it again. The Belt and Road agenda. You know that one. That's what BRICS is. Nothing else.
We talked about it.
That's
I mean, even the foundation of BRICS, I mean, Africans were not there.
No.
We were invited later on. I mean, the founder of those, they were European.
Any African nation that joined BRICS is a token. African token, that's all it is. It's to make us feel that we have a seat at the table. All people are doing is leveraging our pain and the colonization and exploitation of Africans to get access to what? African resources.
That's what I always,
that's all.
That's what we always talk about, my brother, that the solution to Africa's problem is unity.
That's it.
It's unity.
That's it.
Until well, you just take a look. Take a look at West Africa. How much richness is in Ghana, Nigeria, Burkina Faso, and Niger, Mali, and all these countries. But see how many conflicts are going there. Terrorism going there. And the reason why, it's because they just want to separate. They want us to focus on, fighting with one another, buying weapons, but not really focusing on developing ourselves. And now you have organizations like ECOWAS, who is last year put sanction on Mali. This year is putting sanction on Niger. But we don't even, it's like we don't even know. Like we are being used, like they're using our own organization to divide us, to pull us back, and we're not focusing on anything else.
So you know the solution?
But war.
The solution, as we said earlier, is that we need to sanction ourselves.
Yes.
Yes. Can we talk about that?
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about sanctioning ourselves.
As long as ECOWAS is funded by anybody other than African people. As long
it's not our own.
As long as
African Union.
As long as the African Union is financed by any other nation or ethnicity other than indigenous Africans.
We're doomed.
There's no way, absolutely no way that we will unify or that we will benefit from the land that is called Africa.
There is no way.
There is no way.
Because it's there for that very reason, for dividing us. Right. Well, please, go on.
It's okay. And this is the uncomfortable truth. You said radical truth, right?
Radical truth.
You sure? You still want to stand the
radical truth?
Okay.
This is radical truth. I'm
You're
sure.
ready for this?
100%. I'm ready.
Okay.
I was born ready.
Okay. The problem we have in the Caribbean, the problem we have in the United States. I'm talking about our people.
Yeah.
The problem we have on the continent. I'm talking about our people. I'm not talking about Chinese and Arabs and Indians and whites. Please, y'all listen carefully to what I'm saying. I'm choosing my words the way I'm choosing them so you can understand. Everyone is going to look after their own interests, and they will say whatever they have to say to convince you that they mean well for you. That's them. I can't fault them for that. They will do what they feel they must do to get what they want. I'm not speaking about whether they're right or wrong. It's established that all of this stuff is wrong. Our problem, though, on the continent, our problem on the in the diaspora, all right, is that we want to appeal to the consciences of these people for them to do the right thing by us. After how many hundreds of years? How many thousands?
Ain't gonna happen.
And so, how do we appeal to them? We say we want foreign direct investment, or DFI, direct foreign investment. We want to develop and empower our youth and the continent. We want to develop our infrastructure. We want to do all these good things. That's what we say. We want to do this. We want to do that. But to do it, because we are looking to outsiders. We say we need Mr. Investor Bill Gates, or Mr. Investor Halliburton, or Mr. Investor, whoever you want to call them, to come and invest their money, however they got the money, and develop our continent for us. Who will own that continent once they invest the money? Yes, money that they stole, money that got from slavery, money that they you name it, I don't care. Once they come with the money, however they got the money, and they invest in your roads. Let's use China, for example.
They own it.
Yeah, they own it.
They own it.
We need to get over this thing. If we want an Africa that is developed, we must develop it ourselves. And this is not the rantings and the ravings of a madman. I'm telling you, it is human nature. If you don't find a way, I'm not saying that you know how right now today, but if you don't sanction yourself and say, I cannot do trade with Europe, I cannot do trade with America, I cannot do trade with China. I'm not a madman. I want you to listen carefully. If you don't say that I'm not waiting for you, America, or you in NATO to sanction us like you did Zimbabwe
and Eritrea.
I'm not going to wait for you to sanction us. We're going to sanction ourselves. But understand, when we sanction ourselves, it means that we have sanctioned you.
Exactly.
It means if I can't do business with you, because if you sanction me, you would say you can't do business with me. It means whatever businesses you own in our continent. All right? We have to change the relationship. Either you get out, or we have to change. We have to nullify that agreement, because everything about the way that leaders have contracted with non-Africans to quote unquote develop the continent has been done on a basis of bad faith. You know that term, that legal term, bad faith. You came to the agreement as an investor saying that you're going to provide jobs, saying that you're going to develop, do technology transfer, saying that you're going to do all these wonderful things. But at the end of the day, there are no jobs. At the end of the day, in the case of China, for example, they will lend you the money, they will bring the Chinese employees.
And your people will be working in the toilet.
You have to pay, yes, and you will have to pay back this money, but they took the money that they loaned you, they paid it to their own citizens and took the money back to China. And you are saying, whoo, they don't interfere, they don't interfere. How do you mean they don't interfere?
They lend you the money, they bring their expertise, and you pay them, all of them. They so basically we, African government, we pay them.
Yes.
They're working and we pay them.
Yes.
And they take...
And that's China. America does the same thing. Different style, same outcome. The outcome is that we are left to pay back money. With what money? Was that money added to the circulation of the money existing in the economy? Was it African subcontractors that got the work and hired Africans? Were they able to now start businesses? Some of those employees? No. The money came into the country and it left. Oh, we're not interfering with your politics. We're better than the US. The US is bad. Europe is bad. Unacceptable.
It's the same.
There's no difference. That's my point.
It is the same.
It's the same.
It's better to have somebody who actually show you what they're doing. If they're interfering, they're showing that we're interfering, instead of having someone who's not showing, like, smile and, you know, I'm not really engaged. But They have sneaky moves.
Yeah. You don't pay that back, you ask Uganda. You don't pay back, ask Sri Lanka. You don't pay back, ask we're in the Caribbean now. Is it Jamaica? Which one? Anyway, you just ask them what happens when you don't pay. And it's all part of the BRICS, all part of the Belt and Road Initiative. And so my point is, I don't want to get lost in the details, and I don't want people to feel that I'm bashing. I'm not bashing. This is radical truth. Okay, so the bottom line is this. The bottom line is this. I don't want to hear. I'm so tired of hearing, oh, we have the resources, but we don't have the know-how, or we don't have the finances. It's a lie. It's a lie. You have the know-how. You need to go and call the know-how back to their homeland.
Yeah.
Whether they were born in Africa, you have a lot of Africans from Africa, born in Africa, living in Europe, living in Asia. I even met there's a Tanzanian in Japan himself. I saw. I wish he would do his program in English so I can know what he's saying. Very interesting to hear what he's saying. You have so many Africans from the continent, outside of the continent. Okay, you have so many African diaspora. We're not all poor and stupid. That's the image that people have of us. We're not all gangsters and prostitutes. That's the image that people have of us. All right? And those of us who don't have money, we have know-how. So the know-how to do what we need and the money is outside. But we are not leveraging, our governments are not leveraging our people. I want to stop and give you an opportunity to respond, because I can go on and on and on. My frustration is not with white man, not because of my skin color people. I'm a black man. My frustration is not with the Indian man. He's been an Indian.
They gotta do what they gotta do to survive.
They're doing what they feel they have to, because after all, we are the ones that are blessed with the most of the resources. The
problem is with us, brother.
The problem is us.
It's with us. And you know, I was quiet here, man. Like I'm crying right now. And the reason why I'm crying, it is because I was actually just having a moment of prayer to pray that, God, what can we do? Why should we do?
There's so much we can do.
Because when you think about this, like when you have this radical truth conversation, you realize that these problems are they have been orchestrated for so long, for 1,000 years ago.
We think it's natural.
And we think it's natural. Every single thing that is happening is planned. For me, I believe, like even the pandemic. Now we have Ukraine war. There's something else is gonna come.
Exactly. Those are others, because those are topics for themselves. But yes, they are. Yes, that's why. Let me tell you something. That's why so many people are coming. They see it, but we see it with some level of ignorance. We don't see the full picture.
You know. The funny thing is, every single thing that they projected about the pandemic, and I'll say this is the truth, because we had people who say that Africa, they're going to lose a lot of millions and millions of people. They're going to die in Africa. They projected that because of how we behaved when it came. But everything they projected, it actually happened opposite.
Yeah.
It did not happen to Africa like the way it happened to other places.
Yes.
And also a lot of African descendants, they actually moved back to Africa because of that.
Every move they make, you see, because once we know who we are, my brother, listen, you see what you just said is profound. Everything that they projected and they pushed on Africa.
Absolutely.
Has backfired, and it will backfire, and will continue to backfire. But if you want to really see it backfire in a massive way, let our people on the continent and our people off the continent realize who we are.
Yes.
Then we will understand who is doing this thing and why.
Yeah.
Who is doing it and why. And then we'll know what we need to do. But for most of us, like Abraham, he did not know which land that the Most High Yahweh was sending him to until he exercised his faith and start moving under the guidance.
Exactly.
Start going to where he directs you.
Yeah.
You don't know. A lot of our people, we want to know everything. We want to make sure we have everything in place.
You ain't gonna know unless you leave. Unless you take that leap of faith and start moving.
He left.
It's action.
The scripture says he believed Yahweh, and he accredited or counted it to him as faith.